People oftentimes ask me, why don't you talk about Polish men? So many videos about Polish women, but none about Polish men. Today, I'm going to give you the reason. Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up, people? Hola, JT here. Welcome to another episode. For 5 years, I've been making content about Poland and about Poles. I'm excited when it comes to discovering this culture. I have a lot of questions, and our cultures are different enough, but also with enough similarities for me to just scratch my head and try to decipher all the little intricacies. What are some of those answers that I am oftentimes seeking as I try to go and understand just the overall society now through social media, comments that I get, and mindsets? It's really a puzzle. Poles are really intricate people. But if you've noticed, I almost always cover either Polish people as a whole, or if I have to go into specifics, I only speak about Polish women. And believe me, I get that question all of the time. Why don't you talk about Polish men? And that's a fair question, because it's not that Polish men aren't interesting. They are. It's just that it's a very difficult topic to cover when you are 1, a foreigner, 2, a man, 3, a man, foreigner in a relationship with a Polish woman, and doing so without doing them a disservice or without coming off as if I'm jealous, or as if I have some ill sentiment towards them, or as if I am licking their boots. Polish men don't present themselves for observation. Broadly speaking, they don't really perform their identity. Obviously, this is kind of like a slight generalization, as I tend to do a lot, but I always say that keep in mind that my generalizations are nothing but observations of patterns that repeat, but they don't really explain themselves. They are who they are, whether you like it or not. You don't really see a lot of necessity in their personality to try to either challenge who they are or to fix who they are. Polish men are even more unapologetically Polish men. They don't advertise who they are. They don't try to be relatable. They don't try to be inspirational, at least not specifically. They are not trying to even be understood. They are the epitome of an individual that calls it exactly the way they see it. But you see, that is what it gets even more interesting, and that is precisely what can lead to a lot of misunderstanding about Polish men. On the outside, the facade seems simple enough. Don't mess with them, they're not gonna mess with you. But there's something even deeper that is happening with their minds and with their hearts. As a foreigner, I can only see the surface. And this really matters because I can observe differences, I can notice habits, I can share experiences. Polish men don't often invite outsiders into their inner world, let alone foreigner men. Don't get me wrong, I am not accusing Polish men of having a particular issue with foreigners. Some do. For sure, it's not the majority. I have some incredible Polish men friends that are a godsend to me because of how we have connected and how much they have helped me understand another angle of Polish culture. But that's not what this video is about. It's about the fact that they guard their inner self a lot more. They hold the fort of what it's like to be Polish, what it's like to be a Polish man. It has a lot to do with masculinity, and it has a lot to do with how masculinity is processed in Poland. Trust for them takes years, and it requires a lot to earn that trust from them. And making a video like this without having had the proper insight into the deeper self of what is it to be a Polish man, then it runs the risk of sounding like a shallow interpretation of something much deeper. I don't want to do that. At least I did not want to do that up until this very day. Masculinity in Poland is a practical thing. It's not expressive. People don't go about talking, what is it like to be a man? And Polish men have these needs, and we feel that we should, or, we desire. No, that is not how it goes. In other cultures, masculinity is discussed in public. You talk it over. Men even go to therapy. And in Poland, I assume some men go to therapy, but it's still somewhat of a taboo thing because a Polish man is a practical person. It's a person that provides. It's a person that fixes problems. It's not a person that opens up and shares his deeper feelings. When you're a foreigner and you're making friendships, it's very easy to feel like you're overstepping because of how guarded and how much they protect those deep thoughts that they have. And the only way that you can really get to know somebody is when you touch upon subjects that sometimes are uncomfortable to discuss. It just always felt weird to me to just make a video about Polish men when I don't know what makes them tick. I can see things, but I had yet to really discover who they were inside. But that doesn't mean that Polish men lack emotional depth. It just means that they handle emotions privately, not socially. Polish men value privacy, and silence is part of respect. In Poland, the men really value their privacy. They are not interested in being analyzed, in being observed, in being categorized. It's not going to go over well if you try to put them in some sort of box. And this is particularly true if you're a person that did not grow up here, because they are so complex on the inside, yet so simple on the outside that they know, unless you're one of them, you're not really going to know what is happening. So why are you trying to explain who they are? Sometimes respect means not speaking for people who did not ask to be spoken for. Also, if I'm fairly honest with you, their strengths don't translate that well to camera either. Things like consistency, reliability, resilience, resourcefulness. Like, try to use those things to put it on a thumbnail and catch people's attention. These are not really viral friendly traits, but what they do is that they provide their families with a nucleus of support, and it makes sure that their spouses, their friends, their loved ones feel that they are there for when they are needed the most. But now let's talk about the not so pretty side of Polish men. And again, reason why it's difficult to make a video like this, because I would not be honest if I didn't mention these things. I would be just, again, a bootlicker trying to get in the good side of Polish dudes so that they don't beat me up. I feel that sometimes Polish men are a little bit guarded in the ability to try to have their minds changed. I think they hold on to ideals that sometimes need update. I feel that they don't give you the benefit of the doubt as often as maybe they should. I feel that also sometimes they jump to conclusions before they give themselves the chance to truly understand what is happening. It's like their spark burns very hot and very fast, leading sometimes to an explosion that oftentimes was not even needed. Now, let me be clear. I haven't really had any specific issues with Polish men. I've been treated pretty okay as a content creator that is also a foreigner, making videos about Poland in English, not even in Polish. The occasional, of course, hate comment or whatever, I've been accepted by them and I've been treated fairly. But one thing doesn't eliminate the other. I have to be fair with comments that I read online on Polish internet. Sometimes the discussions are very rough. Sometimes reading the words from what seems to be predominantly Polish men is a little bit hard to swallow. Not necessarily about me. Sometimes they're speaking about their own people, their own women. Sometimes they're speaking about their politicians, or sometimes they're just speaking to another guy. And the way that they express themselves sometimes seems to me like it needs a little bit of sanding down. It needs a little bit of finesse. Now, to make it clear, disclaimer, I am not here trying to tell Polish men how they should be. Polish men will be the way they will be. Same as Polish women. But it would not be honest of me to just say a lot of nice things and don't comment on the more negative things that I observe. Just an honest observation from a cultural observer. So, to answer your question, Why don't I make videos about Polish men? To be honest, because talking about them is easy. It's understanding them that takes time, humility, and proximity. And as a foreign man living in Poland, I'm still learning where observations end and interpretations begin. So if I do eventually make a video about Polish men, I'll make sure it's not a loud one, not definitive, probably just a quiet story told carefully, but with a lot of depth, just like them.